I have an interesting idea to discuss a bit, which is about this small creator syndrome. And I think this is something I've felt for a while, and I still struggle with it at times. It's kind
Like
of
my
a
style?
pathology
Hit
of,
the subscribe button so you don't
you
miss any
know,
future
the
videos.
expectation of being an artist. I made a video about this before, which was titled something like, if you're an artist, be prepared to experience heavy rejection. And that's a deeply, ingrained mode or way of thinking of an artist that's not fully in alignment with themselves and their craft. And that's even to point a finger at myself, because at times I would say 50%, if not majority of the time, I still have insecurities that eat at me. And I don't show that outwardly because I try to present myself in a confident way. And a lot of times I do feel, in a sense, matched with that outward personality. But this small creator syndrome essentially is birthed from an inability to accept where we are in relation to public appreciation and perception, versus where we would like to be. Everybody has some idea of the level of fame and even recognition they might like to receive from their work, their craft, their art. And it's just a matter of trying to come to terms with the reality of those expectations at any given time. It takes years for a lot of creators and artists to get that level that they're seeking, and I think probably a lot of them don't. So essentially what I've noticed is it's kind of like an element of FOMO in a way, because you're feeling that you should be at a certain level, but you're not. And that's just in terms of how people view you. That's not at all to speak on the talent that you exhibit or showcase. And so, we get trapped in this kind of terminal way of thinking that really limits us. It keeps us trapped by the public and the social aspect of the art. So for me, that looks like oftentimes feeling a sense of nonchalant attitude from those that I would like to, receive my art. And what I need to come to understanding of is that these people that I would like to appreciate my work, they don't have to appreciate it. They're not obligated to like it, and we're not owed a certain level of fame or recognition just because we produce something. There's so many factors that go into becoming popular and heavily consumed, and there's disadvantages to even being on that side of things. So small creator syndrome is something that really affects perpetually people with insecurities. And again, I want to openly say that I have those. So that's why I often feel discouraged or even dissatisfied with where I feel like I'm at, even though I've made tremendous growth in many areas, and I've seen the fruits of my labor and effort that I've put in. I've seen the quality of my work go up, skyrocket through the years. And I can look back over about a decade of, things that I've developed, and art, speaking of visual art, even longer than that. So that's something that is incredibly valuable. And just because you see other creators, let's say YouTubers, that just started in the last 6 months or year and exploded, it doesn't invalidate the path that you've traveled and the work that you've put in, because that does amount to something. And even just call it crystallized intelligence, it doesn't matter. It's something. It's good. It's maturity. It's wisdom. And not everybody is able to see it that way. And so envy and jealousy can build up, and even resentment. So I've tried to limit myself from ever thinking too much in those negative domains, and just staying positive, because, at the end of the day, I would rather have a small subset of people that really, really fuck with my stuff, that are genuinely supportive, versus, tens of thousands of people that click like just because they like some shallow aspect about it. And perhaps it's just even name recognition. So, as I've mentioned before, you have a certain level of anonymity that should be appreciated as a small creator. You have options. You can afford to fail. Nobody's counting on you. And these are all things that could be perceived negatively, but it's all about changing the mindset. And that's what I'm working on. And it's going to be a work in progress. There's no doubt that those times when you get 2 or 3 views on videos, it's going to hurt, a little bit. It's going to be like, ugh, because you know for a fact that what you're talking about, the rhetoric, the editing, the style, just your unique mannerisms, idiosyncrasies, all of that is not quite being received to its fullest capacity, and therefore you have to be the one to validate it and to feel confident that that deserves to be out there, and that it'll make its way eventually to the right people. And if not, fuck it, you made it and it's worth it. It's your creation. It's if nobody else, at least you can sit back and enjoy what you've developed, because that's what it's all about at the end of the day. It's self-appreciation. And how could you ever measure that for ourselves? It's not countable in likes or views or follows. This is like the true gratitude and respect that we have for ourselves and our own work. It's priceless. So yeah, that's the vibe. And if you want to see what the vibe is around here, it's pretty damn cool today. It's a beautiful day. So yeah, that's a lot to take in, and if you're a small creator like myself, I say small, probably under like 1,000 or 500 subscribers on YouTube, it's likely that you're not at your end point. I just mean that you probably haven't reached, where you're plateauing permanently. It's just a matter of patience, timing, perhaps being at the right time, right place, right time. Maybe a little bit of luck, because it's YouTube. The algorithm seems to be kind of on its own, wavelength. And yeah, sure enough, eventually you too will make it where you want to make it, with hopefully a wealth of experience and invaluable lesson that you've been able to acquire that others don't. They may have to learn the hard way because of how quick or how rapid their success was. So let's start to kind of shift to that quality over quantity mindset. That's what I'm trying to do as I, approach these next few years of my life. And yes, there's a lot of joy that are coming from these milestone achievements that are often associated with more quantitative, items. But they're all temporary, and they really don't matter, because they don't do anything next to the genuine feeling of pride and joy that you will have when you achieve your goal. So I want to say that one more time, just synthesize a short message that ultimately the feeling you get from creating should be enough if you are confident and if you are passionate, genuinely passionate about the area that you are creating in. That means that the reason that you create is not for other people's sake, but it's for your own sake. And then by default, it's going to help other people and benefit them. So hopefully that is a little bit insightful. And if you are also a small creator, somebody that's just starting, or if you've been in the game for a while, like myself, then stay strong, you know? This is a long journey if you have big goals and if you are somebody that wants to see it to the end as an artist. And I know I do. There's gonna be times when things slow down, you know, just like the water comes to a stop, but it always keeps moving again. And you will too, so long as you carry that inner spark and that desire to share with the world, to, you know, realize your vision and your perspective in physical form. So with that being said, hope you have a beautiful day and enjoy it wherever you are. And until the next time, peace.